calm down. We still got Diana Taurasi. We still got Asia Wilson. So if y'all gonna give her props, make sure our girls that are dominating in this league get the same props. That's what everybody's talking about. Congratulations to her. She's a fat.
The silence had been deafening, until now. Basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal has finally broken his silence on the Caitlin Clark whirlwind that has captivated the sports world since Time magazine named her the 2024 Athlete of the Year. This wasn't just a story for basketball fans, political commentators, global media, and everyday Americans all weighed in. And yet, Shaq stayed quiet. That was unusual. The man famous for bold opinions and unapologetic takes had been eerily silent. That pause only made the moment of his statement even more electric. To understand why Shaq waited, we have to rewind. After one of the most dominant careers in NBA history, O'Neal transitioned to the media world, where he became notorious for blunt critiques and stirring controversy. From the start, Shaq had reservations about Clark, questioning the hype and the spotlight she commanded. But beneath that skepticism was a personal connection, his mentorship of rising WNBA star Angel Reese, Clark's fiercest rival since college. Reese, now the heartbeat of the Chicago Sky, has a long-running rivalry with Clark that has only intensified under the WNBA's bright lights. Shaq has long championed Reese, calling her the future of the league. So when Clark began shattering records in her rookie season, Shaq didn't cheer. He observed silently, almost reluctant to acknowledge her meteoric ascent. But Clark didn't just rise, she exploded, transforming a struggling franchise into a ratings juggernaut. When she was crowned Athlete of the Year, Shaq could no longer hold back. And when he finally spoke, it was nothing anyone expected.
Congratulations to her. She's a fabulous player.
It began with grace. Shaq looked into the camera and offered a calm, measured congratulations to Caitlin Clark, simple, respectful. He praised her, she's a fabulous player. But anyone paying attention could sense there was more beneath the surface. This was a man who usually spoke with fire and fury, not measured politeness. And just when it seemed he would keep things classy, the truth began to slip through. Beneath that polished delivery, a familiar undertone crept in, the bias that has long shadowed Shaq's commentary. And when it finally emerged, it was like pouring gasoline on a fire that was already blazing.
My girl Angel definitely brought a lot of publicity to the W.
Then came the twist no one saw coming. Instead of letting Caitlin Clark bask in her moment of triumph, Shaquille O'Neal shifted the spotlight, pulling Angel Reese back into the frame. "My girl," he said, referring to Ree. Just those two words shattered any illusion of neutrality. It wasn't merely a comment, it was a line in the sand. With that simple phrase, Shaq seemed intent on framing the rise of WNBA popularity as a shared crown between Clark and Reese, but the numbers told a different story. Caitlin Clark has packed arenas, shattered viewership records, and single-handedly thrust the Indiana Fever into national attention. Reese, while undeniably talented, is still riding the wave Clark created. Yet Shaq didn't stop there. He broadened the narrative further, looping in other WNBA stars as if trying to dilute Clark's spotlight. And as his word spread, fans began asking a dangerous question.
Forget all the other WNBA greats, Asia, Sabrina, Taurasi, all the women that's playing great. They're finally getting the credit that they deserve.
The backlash was louder than anyone anticipated. You'd think naming Caitlin Clark Time magazine's Athlete of the Year would unite the sports world. Instead, it split it. Some reacted defensively, even angrily. But why? Let's be honest, no one else transformed the cultural and athletic landscape in 2024 quite like Clark. Her name became more than a player, it became a movement, a game, revolution. Because of her rise, millions of fans began discovering other incredible WNBA stars who had been grinding in the shadows for years. Even Shaquille O'Neal acknowledged that, listing names of overlooked players finally getting their due. But then Shaq said something curious. He implied Clark was somehow stealing attention from others, as if her success erased theirs. The irony is staggering. Clark didn't take the spotlight, she created it. And when she accepted her award, she didn't bask in personal glory. She honored the excellence of black women in basketball, paying tribute to the roots of the game. She didn't have to, but she did, because she understands what true leadership looks like. When Shaq doubled down, Comparing the women's game to the men's, the conversation veered into uncharted territory, exploding in a direction no one saw coming.
Much harder than the men, play better than the men. It's a beautiful game to watch.
For a man who built his legacy on brute force and dominance, Shaq's next statement hit like a lightning bolt. Without hesitation, he claimed that WNBA players were better than NBA players, good enough to stop you in your tracks. Coming from a Hall of Famer who spent decades praising the physical power of the men's league, it sounded almost unreal. For years, the NBA has dwarfed the WNBA in ratings, popularity, and market share. So what changed? Could Caitlin Clark's brilliance really have upended Shaq's entire perspective? Or was there another motive at play? Because in that same interview, Shaq admitted something else: he loves to stir the pot. He thrives on chaos. Headlines sizzle when he speaks. He's a master of attention, and nothing grabs it like saying the unexpected. But now fans are asking the critical question: did Shaq truly mean it, or was it just another calculated move in the game he plays so well?
I stirred some controversy, but it wasn't really controversy. I am a revenue-driven.
Then came the real fire starter. Shaq didn't just compare the WNBA to the NBA, he said it was more enjoyable to watch. Fans blinked in disbelief. Had the big diesel actually switched sides? But just as quickly, he contradicted himself. The league, he said, still needed improvement. His solution: lower the rim. That single statement sent shockwaves through the WNBA. Was it a genuine proposal for progress, or something else entirely? The deeper you look, the more it seems this fix wasn't about the league at all. It was about someone else.
Watch women's volleyball, beach volleyball, and men's beach volleyball. The net is lowered, not a significant amount, but just a little bit. So if you lower the rim a little bit to where the ladies can dunk, then our games would be similar. It'd be make much more money for them, and then they could start getting the salaries that they deserve. Because the salaries they're getting now are just terrible. Like, you got these NIL students going for $6 and $7, $8 million, and Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese only making hundreds of thousands.
The suggestion to lower the rim wasn't random, it was strategic. And the player who would benefit most wasn't Caitlin Clark. It was Angel Reese. Think about it, Ree is a physical player who dominates under the basket. Her scoring thrives on close-range finishes and layups, but even those aren't always guaranteed. Lowering the rim would give her an instant advantage. Clark? She doesn't need it. Her range is limitless, Steph Curry-level fearless. She routinely drains shots from well beyond the WNBA three-point arc, which is already closer than the NBA's. She's built to excel at any level. No changes required. So when Shaq floated that idea, it felt less like a league improvement and more like a favor to Ree. After all, they are close. He's publicly backed her, even joining her podcast Unapologetically Angel, where he praised Clark to her face. It must have stung. He was hyping her fiercest rival, but here's the shocker: Shaq didn't stop there. On the podcast, he said, Caitlin Clark has done for the WNBA what Steph Curry did for the NBA. Bold, yes, but undeniably true. Like Curry, Clark has reshaped the game, electrified crowds, and made every highlight reel feel magical. Now fans are left wondering, has Shaq genuinely shifted his stance, or is this just the calm before the next storm?
Why do you think people love Caitlin Clark, besides her skills?
She can shoot threes from logo.
We never seen that before. That's my point. Steph
Okay.
Curry, a little kid. Like, Steph Curry, I love, you know why I love Steph Curry? Because I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before. I've seen it a little bit in my Mahmoud Abdul-Roh, but I've never seen a guy consistently come down. And if you look at, like, if you saw Steph on the street, he ain't got the LeBron muscles. He's not 6'9", he's 6'10". He look like a perfect, normally office guy.
Yeah.
He's doing stuff that people never seen before. She's doing stuff we've never seen before. Never seen nobody do that on a consistent basis.
It started with tension. Shaquille O'Neal, a man known for never mincing words, finally gave Caitlin Clark a level of praise that made headlines and raised eyebrows. For months, he tiptoed around her meteoric rise, championing Angel Reese, his self-declared girl, as the rightful WNBA star. But this time, something changed. He admitted the truth: Caitlin Clark is doing things no other WNBA player has ever done. Even Reese, though she tried to brush it off, couldn't hide her acknowledgement. She can shoot threes from the logo, she said, a backhanded compliment masking her frustration. Shaq, however, wasn't dismissive. He knew that kind of range required obsession-level discipline, countless hours of invisible work, and nerves of steel. What Clark was doing wasn't just impressive, it was gravity-defying. And the most shocking part? Reese couldn't replicate it. There's a reason Clark is filling arenas like no rookie before her. Shaq knew it. The fans felt it. Even Angel Reese saw it. Her powerful, physical game is impressive, but it doesn't command the spotlight the way Clark's limitless shooting and full-court vision do. That ability to change a game with a single pull-up three has made Clark the engine of the WNBA's surging viewership. Shaq's moment of clarity didn't happen in a vacuum, it was triggered by a head-to-head showdown. In a fever-pitched battle between Clark's Indiana Fever and Reese's Chicago Sky, Shaq was in the building. Everyone expected fireworks, and that's exactly what they got. Clark didn't just play well, she made history. 31 points, 5 three-pointers, 12 assists, and a staggering 57% shooting rate from 14 attempts. She orchestrated the game like a maestro, carving apart Chicago's defense with surgical precision. It marked her 5th game with 20 points and 10 assists, a WNBA rookie record. After that performance, Shaq had no choice, his silence turned to admiration. I never spoke about her before, he confessed. Angel Reese is my girl, but Caitlin Clark? She's for real. The basketball world froze. You could almost hear the internal struggle in his voice. I tried to be upset, he admitted. But Clark made the right pass, the right play. Even under constant physical punishment from veteran defenders, she didn't lash out. She adapted. She excelled. And when Shaq saw that unshakable focus in a rookie, he knew the truth. He couldn't deny her anymore. What made this moment powerful wasn't the stats, it was the vulnerability. Shaq, the same man who ribbed superstars and roasted MVPs, was openly praising a WNBA rookie. She's the real one. Much respect to her, her family, and how she was raised, he said. It wasn't a soundbite, it was a confession. Shaq wasn't just talking basketball, he was talking character. He urged young girls to watch Clark and Reese, calling them his two favorite. Even in that moment, the contrast was clear. Shaq will always ride for Angel Reese, but Caitlin Clark is on another level. Reese is powerful, emotional, unapologetically herself. Clark? A once-in-a-generation genius. She reads the game like a novel, letting her play speak louder than any words. And for Shaq, who once tried to dismiss her, to now stand in awe, that's not just a compliment. It's a turning point for the WNBA, for women's sports, and for sports history. Caitlin Clark's journey is no longer just about breaking records. It's about breaking minds. Even the fiercest critics, even those loyal to her rivals, drawn to her brilliance. Shaquille O'Neal's evolving admiration is proof that greatness silences bias, that talent erases doubt, and that no matter who you root for, Caitlin Clark is reshaping the game forever.